Welcome to JJ with Joy. You guys, I have to apologize. I didn't lie on purpose, but I lied just a little white lie because I'm old, I guess. Well, what happened was I'm not going to be here Monday, so I decided to go ahead and finish that last page of this journal and do a flip through instead of because my daughter's going to be here Monday, but she's not going to be here Thursday. So I'll be here Thursday, but I'm posting this so it'll come out on Monday so you guys won't miss me, right? Anyway, welcome in. This is a Christmas ephemera eating journal, and let's get into it. I have lots of fun things going on with this journal. So what I did was I started with 4 pages, just 4 simple little pages. I have some, not silver, you guys can see this, red, and then I put green glitter around the baseboards here. So we have, this is the edge, this is the front, here's the top, there's the side, yummy, and the bottom. So I have lots of little things hanging out here. There's a couple bells, and I have a snowflake, and then I have a tree, and then over here is another bell, which is gold. So most of the stuff in here is Tim Holtz. Not all of it because, but he's easy to do one of these journals with because he has so much ephemera. So I don't want you to miss anything. Sorry if I bore you with pointing everything out, but here we go. We have the artificial holly, whatever you call that, leaf stamp. We have this little tag, and I did put this on it, which wasn't on there before. This is a baseboard. I put mica over the picture, which, as you can see, has a little bit of crinkly look. Mica is a mineral rock that comes flat, and you can peel off layers of it to make it yum yum. So we're Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz, beautiful fabric that sparkles and all that fun stuff. Now, once we get into it, now on this, I've left this so it doesn't show here with the baker's twine. It just gives another element of layering. I love to layer, you guys. It's my favorite thing to do. So this is one of the Tim Holtz things. I just tied a thing on top. This was a printable. I think it was a freebie, but I'm not real sure. Under here, I have different stitching. All of the main layers of the page are stitched. Now, I don't stitch all the pages. I just stitch the ones that are, the main ones. And then sometimes I'll stitch. So a little mother of pearl, plasticky, love this stuff. It's pretty. Usually it doesn't look as pretty on the camera, but it really is today for some reason. So I cut out along the heads of all of these little guys, and that way it looks a little different. I didn't think about it when it folds in, but it looks okay. It still peekaboos through. Now, I didn't, when I got done the other day, I didn't like everything, so it was a little plain in here. So I went through, twisted up some eyelash trim, and put that on there. So, Rudolph, we have a little red nose, per my instruction on my live. I had people say, give him a red nose. And then there was, people was wondering about how to do that. So then on this page, so this was more red, and then this was more burgundy, I want to say. Except for I put Santa Claus in there, so it didn't matter. So he kind of blends across. But this here was intended to kind of mute the color, because if you look at, it's kind of a little bit more bright than it really is. So I put a magnetic closure on Santa Claus's little foot, or that's not his foot, his little arm. And this tucks in here. So I put a little stitching and cute stuff. Oh, I forgot to ink inside there. Okay, anyway, we'll see if that gets done. Okay, so we open up, and then we have this big tag, which is really pretty and I put a little extra stuff underneath. There's this tag here that is a little puppy dog. This is just a tab for pretty, and you know, just added in where I could. This was a little plain, so I stuck a tree on his hand. I did cover the magnet, but, you know, and put it in over here. This gift is separate. I don't know, can you guys see the sparkle? Yes, you can. Yeah, I put a little sparkle in the tree to not make it boring. Behind here is another Tim Holtz. So usually what I do is like this. I have one page. It starts out as 4, but really it adds, so this is also one, if you can see here, that comes out to here, and then I just add it onto there. So there you go. That's that one. And we flip over here. I wish I would have not cut his head off just as much. I mean, he's just right to the top. So anyway, I made a little trees sign because everybody thought that he needed to be sitting his arm on something. So we made a little trees because he's selling Christmas trees here. I love this page, but there's not a lot you can do with it because you don't want to cover this. I did add a little green, just kind of, I think a watercolor pencil maybe, in to kind of just very hint of green in there. So I have a 2025 because that's when I made it. And then a little scrap cluster. These, I call them dingle balls. I don't, you know, pom-poms, that's what they're called. Over here, this is an old vintage looking, I think it's Tim Holtz, but it's one of the Christmas tags. So we have a little tab and lots of stuff there. I added glitter down here on this. There's underneath, always shows through. I love how everything just shows through there. So the next page, I, again, thought this was a little plain with just the red that was there, so I went ahead and added more eyelash trim to sparkle it up. I love the sparkle for sure. I added a street name here, and I didn't magnetize this. I probably should have, but, you know, it's okay. So we have, you know, the little candy stuff, and I wrinkled the pages up. Added a stamp. This is a little sticker. We have a vintage bell with, now this I made a long time ago, this tag. It's so pretty. I love this tag so much. I do have glossy accents, which, can we see? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Glossy accents. Pretty, pretty. And then I just sewed down the pages, you know, why not? I could. Put some trees on there. I did add a little pin. I thought this was a little plain after I did it, so put a little shine. This goes, of course, all the way underneath again. You know, that's the whole thing, the way I like to do it. Now, over here, we have a little thing that I've made several of them. I don't know if I still have, well, I know I don't have them in my shop right now, but I think I have some for my shop from last year that, you know, didn't sell. I made a bunch of them. They're just like a little 3-piece, 4-piece thing. Now this little girl sledding, I put some fake snow underneath him with some lace, which is really pretty. Another one of those Christmas tag labels. I guess that's really what they're called. A little bling bling, a little something shining through, a little more shining through, a very little shining through. All these pieces just make it pop. That's what you do when you're trying to layer up. Now, I added these little 3 dots. I think those came from Stampin' Up. And we have Mary on here. And then this opens up. I added a little bit of another address. I put some snow under their feet again, and a little red to bring out some color. Put a little green there. Now, I should have probably had this a little bit lower because it does peek through, but it peeks through perfect, I think. A little baker's twine on top, music paper here. This is a milk thing. I stamped on it, and I got a new stamp. It's a tree stamp, and it says, "This is joy." And I thought, oh, that's just too funny. And then this one came with that stamp, and it says, "Merry Christmas." I bought the new, from scrapbook.com, I bought the new hybrid inks. I really like them, guys. That's what this is stamped with. Put a little eyelash eyelash trim under there. These tickets come in and out. They slide in and out. And, you know, I put for Santa Claus North Pole. So there is all of that. Let's see, did I miss anything? There's a little gold stuff there. let's see if we can move this. Oh, yep, there's more labels there. And this is a Tim Holtz thing. So is this, so is this, so is that, and that, and that. It's all. Oh, anyway, beautiful page. I love that page. So next up, we have more baker's twine underneath, and I put a little tab hanging out. Now, I couldn't get my eyelet in there because I had already put it down, so I faked it with just doing the We Are Memory Keepers, what do you call it? Reinforcement punch. That's what it's called. So I have some green trees. I also left it so you can see little, very little bits and pieces, but also some bits and pieces of the trim or the sewing. That's what it's called. Little Santa Claus hanging up here. That was kind of bland right there, so I put postcard in there. Added a little red bling that doesn't go up. Little puppy, and I stuck behind him some red pretty shine. I like shine, shimmer shine. I did end up adding a little pom-pom here, just one. I thought that was pretty cute, just the one. And I put a button on this that I didn't do in the live. This is where the charms are hanging on down here. This is one of the frames. Now I put acetate or transparency probably underneath the girl so that, you know, it looks like it's a real picture in a frame, because this is a frame, you know. So I sewed this in, put a little eyelash trim under there. Okay, so I whipped a few stitches around the top there just to kind of add it. I did go ahead and go back through and put some stitches on the bottom because it seemed to open up pretty bad, you know, and I didn't like it anyway. So I was gonna put 3 buttons here, but I already put a button here, so then I didn't like the idea. But this little piece of fabric just flops over. We have another little label, and I put a little pretty on there. I put a little shimmer shine with that stuff from the front, that plasticky iridescent stuff, and then this, and then I have just a little half of one of the pieces of ephemera I had. So I put the eyelash trim. Why can't I say that word today? My goodness. Underneath. Now, over here, there's the bells here. I put a big tag here. There is all kinds of trims, and I kind of messed up on the bottom of this and didn't like it, so I just covered it with some eyelash. I put a little blue to kind of bring out a different color. You know, snow kind of reminds me of blue. I put a little here, and then over here is just, this is a stamp. I think it's a Tim Holtz stamp as well. Now under here, I added a little bit of eyelash trim under that as well. So this is all Tim Holtz. I had bought from when Joann's was closing out. They had this pretty trim, so I bought some of that and put it on there. Let's take everything out so you can see it from the bottom, empty. And so we have a little bit of lace that kind of reminded me of a, I don't know, snowflake, not really. I got a new rub-on for a freebie, and so I put, it says very faintly, holiday deliveries, because, you know, look, Santa's delivering. I did put a little sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on his, probably not, in the snow. And then have a little bit of bling. And look at this cute stitching. I didn't cover much of that because I really liked it. There's a little weavy up and down stitching over here. And then there's kind of like bird feet stitching up there. So then I have these 3 things, nothing on the back. It's just boring. This one is kind of a flippy over thing. And and then I have a stamp, not a stamp. This is a piece of ephemera from Junk with Steph, and then you see the shape of this? That's the way that the die cut is. That's what it's called. Die cut. All right. So, this is a piece of ephemera that I just added a thing. There's 2 little birdies up there, and I wanted it on this. I wanted it right here, but I forego. Poor little birdie went bye-bye. So I did put some glossy accents on the bird and on all the snowy stuff down here with that. it is a kind of plain, and that's what somebody had told me. Put my little label here and signed it. Added a little something something there. Put a piece of trim. So I went ahead, since it looked a little boring, I was trying to jazz it up a little, and I did put more sparkle just right there. But anyway, it's fine. So we're going to have that. Now, and that's the 4th page. So here's the back side. We are already finished almost. Goodness, you guys. So Tim Holtz, layer, layer, layer. Again, I have this in there, nothing on the back. This is his and his. This was given to me by Miss Penny. It's just, it's so thick that you can't really, it has to go on an outside of a journal. And I didn't have it glued down originally, but it was just really floppy. So I went ahead and left the jute on it. I did pin it on originally, so I just left that pin. I could take that out probably now, but it's fine. Just adds another element. And then a little scrap cluster down here, and this beautiful iridescent lace. You probably can't see that it's iridescent, but it just sparkles all the way up. So fun, fun, fun. Don't you just love the yumminess of this? If you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more from me, I would appreciate it if you would give me a subscribe, ring the bell. And I'm going to put that like that so it kind of pops up a little bit while we're signing off here. And then subscribe, ring the bell, choose all for your notifications. And I will be back Thursday, God willing, and the rain don't rise. No, the creeks don't rise. That's what it is. And have a wonderful day. Remember, your day is full of choices, so choose joy. Bye for now.